Please be advised, the following presentation is not intended for minors.
Hi everyone. Before I get into the video, I'd like to actually explain what it is, because it's very different from the stuff that I usually do. So, for the past 7 months, I've been training to become a radio presenter at a local community station. For those of you who are part of the Discord, this is what my mystery night classes were. Because of my background in streaming, the CEO of the station was actually very interested in me having my own show, because, I knew how to, speak into the mic and all of that, so I was already, well prepared. Now, I know nothing about, putting on a typical radio show, disc jockey, play music, yada yada yada, but I was a co-host for the Switchaboo podcast, so I pitched what was meant to be a spiritual successor to that show. So I got the old gang back together, we went down to the station and recorded a pilot. The CEO sat down, listened to it, and we were rejected. We were rejected because round about at that time, the E3 season was going on, which we don't know what to call it because, E3's dead. But it's caused the show to feel bloated, but we will give it another chance. Just not do it when news is busy and shit. Fast forward to when we're getting ready to record our new pilot, only to be told that the CEO resigned. This crushed our hopes, seeing as he was the only one who was convinced that we could make this show work, so basically our show got cancelled before we could even finish the pilot. This video is that original pilot, warts and all. So we're still interested in making this show, but it'll have to be done in a more humble way, so please give it a listen, let us know if you'd like us to continue making the show like this, probably as a YouTube show or a podcast or something. So thanks for listening.
Hello, this is Jake Mounsey from PBA-FM. You are listening to The Co-op Couch, your one-stop shop for all gaming news this side of the northern suburbs. With me today are my co-hosts, Alex Harding.
Hello.
And Nathan Rudge.
Hello, hello.
On today's episode, we're going to be going through everything that happened this E3 season. Actually, what do we call it now that E3 is gone?
I don't even know anymore.
Real
E3
season? E3 season was just so good of a name, for it, but now with E3 gone, we have no idea.
It's like the game announcement season.
Yeah, pretty much.
Roll off the tongue as well, doesn't it?
No.
Summer reveals, because it's always in summer in America.
Yeah.
The Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah, Summer Games Fest, that, technically works, but that's also the name of a show specifically, but we're rambling. Other than that, we also have Alex's review of Shim coming later, so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Someone forgot he did that.
Yeah.
But first, Alex, what have you been playing recently?
For me, it's been Horizon Forbidden West, actually. So
really?
I've dabbled into, the Sony back catalogue. And so I started with Horizon Zero Dawn earlier this year because it always fell into my, to playlist because it always fell around when Zelda released.
Both times.
Yeah, exactly.
Both times.
And then when you finish a 80, 100-hour adventure game, you don't want to jump into another one. So it's it always fell on the backlog. But no, I finished Horizon Zero Dawn earlier this year, and now Forbidden West, I'm coming up close to the ending. I've got my grievances, of course, because going from Zelda, it's certainly different. But no, I like it, honestly. The story is fine. It's a bit convoluted. Have you guys played Horizon?
I've been meaning to, but no.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
I know it's got the mix. That's all I know.
Yeah. Well, okay.
To someone who has never played, it really just feels like Zelda, but with mech dinosaurs, which sounds cool, but
yeah, it is. A little bit. It is quite a lot different to Zelda in the fact that there's less puzzle solving and more action.
Yeah.
It is
more open world.
Yeah.
Exploration.
Yeah, and you do get side quest like a lot of side quests in comparison to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So it's fantastic for that. But overall, it's good. The story is very convoluted, and it gets more and more convoluted to a point where I'm just rolling my eyes at the end of it.
It's Ghost of Tsushima, but mix.
Ghost of Tsushima is the one that I finished before Horizon Forbidden West, and that was incredible.
That is insane.
That one was... If that launched this year, it would be my game of the year this year. That was unbelievable.
I need to play that. Like, I played like half an hour of that and then stopped because something else just happened to like come out at
Yeah.
the same time. I need to get back to that.
I really like Sucker Punch Studios.
Yeah.
They're good. They got some really good games.
But but that's what I've been playing. I've finished Day the Diver recently as well. That one is just so addictive. That game is incredible.
Yeah,
would
like-
recommend that.
Yeah, the DLC for that game as well is wild.
Yeah.
It's like immediately, it's like, oh, here's DLC collaboration with Dredge,
Yeah.
another indie like fishing game that was huge.
Yeah,
And then Godzilla.
Yeah,
and then as big as it can get.
yeah.
But no, that's been me. I've been mainly on my PS5 for the most part. Which is very unlike me because normal like
Yeah,
you're
you're
the
usually
Xbox
very
boy.
yeah, Xbox, Nintendo, or indies.
Yeah,
wherever I
yeah.
can find them. So like, no, I've been really digging into my backlog on PS5, which has been good.
Nathan, what about you?
Surprise, surprise, I'm being a lot on Baldur's Gate 3.
That's on my to do.
Oh,
Doing it co-op.
I have put like 500 hours into Baldur's Gate
And
3.
still haven't left
I
Act 1?
still haven't hit Act 3 yet. There is so much content in Baldur's Gate 3, and like every time I get close to getting to Act 3, Larian Studios just announces, oh yeah, we have another big patch that's gonna like completely overhaul a whole bunch of things. I'm like, guess I'll start a new game. And like just the other day they announced that the next like big update is coming in September, so it's like
Yeah.
And how many characters have you made?
I've lost count. I've lost count. A thing that I really like to do, Alex, I don't know if you know, is I love Dungeons and Dragons character creation.
Yeah.
So
I have heard.
So a game like that like just eases you into it, like if you're a newbie, and it's just so easily accessible. It's hard not to. It's hard not to make characters when like the slightest change in character can completely change how you play the game.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get into Baldur's Gate 3. But it's one of those games where I know I'm gonna have to, carve aside like at least 6 months out of my
Fair.
game.
And you could do that co-op as well. It's really
True.
fun doing it 2-player.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could get my partner into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Although she's not the biggest action/RPG kind of gamer, she's more of a puzzle gamer. How do you think that would go?
It's more tactical combat.
Okay, it
Yeah,
might work.
tactical combat is technically puzzles.
Puzzle-like.
Yeah,
That's how I'll pitch it to her.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ashley's into puzzle games.
Yep.
And she's not normally into like the tactical games, but she loves it because of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the story in that game is fantastic.
Maybe I'll. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll try it out. There's a trial on PS Plus. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I'm pretty sure there's something.
So I might. Okay. I might dabble. I'll dabble.
Yeah.
Double. And then in addition to Baldur's Gate 3, it's partners recently got into trying Hearthstone with me. Because
Oh, right.
I got back into it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
To be fair, I got back into it with the Western themed one.
Yeah.
And like, I was just playing it when I was over there, and she saw that I did it, liked it, and then on her own volition went out and got it, and I started playing it, and then we've just been playing Battlegrounds.
I can't imagine what Hearthstone would be like now to a new player.
That is why we're mostly playing Battlegrounds, which is the auto battler, like
Oh, I see,
teamfight
I see.
tactics.
Mm.
I was like just smiling and nodding
Yeah.
along, but like,
Yeah, so it's like
sure, yeah.
you buy the minions, put them in, and they attack automatically against the opponents. And so we're
Okay.
playing the duos one, which where you work together as a team.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I didn't
fun.
even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I've been outside of Hearthstone for so long.
I mean, duos only came out a couple months ago. So
okay.
that's where it came.
Okay, right.
I was like, well, that works. That now I have a reason to actually play this game mode. But other than that, it's like just been stuff like Luigi's Mansion 2. Good game. It's my same criticism I had when I first played the game on the 3DS. The ghost designs are just generic.
They are. Yeah.
And then you've got Luigi's Mansion 3 that's come out, and that's just...
Just infinitely better.
Yes.
I wouldn't say... Like, the gameplay is on par.
Yeah.
But the designs, like the artistic designs of things, are just so much
flat.
better.
It was
Yeah.
during that period when Nintendo were very, boring with their designs.
Year of Luigi.
Mm.
The Oh, poor year of Luigi.
I-
Poor Luigi. Just in
Yeah,
general.
Which was
poor
11
Luigi,
years ago.
Yeah,
Wow.
poor Luigi in general. I find it hilarious that Sega is essentially doing the same thing this year with a Year of Shadow.
Yeah.
And it's immediately doing, like, infinitely better.
Yeah, but Sonic fans are a different breed.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But did you see, like, Shadow explode into weird symbiote wings?
I did not.
No.
And
I
don't
gotta
think I
talk-
want to look that up.
I gotta talk about the Sonic X, the Shadow, Sonic, oh God, it is such a dumb name. The Sonic X Shadow Generations trailer. There we go.
Okay.
Don't look that up on online, because you will get some weird fan art.
Yeah.
See, I just look at the
Just go
animation
incognito,
Sonic
incognito
X.
mode. First.
Yeah. It's...
Just before we move on as well, like I played Luigi's Mansion 2 first.
Yeah.
And that was the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So Luigi
Mm.
Mansion 2, then 1, then 3.
See, I did 1, 2, 3 because I had the GameCube.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, 1 is so good.
Yeah.
The designs are so good. And then you go to 2 and you're like, where's the ghost designs?
Exactly.
That was the most fun thing, was the character designs, finding out all the new ghosts.
Yeah, where's the flavor? Where's the spice?
Where's the baby ghost that makes you really small and throws balls at you?
That's right. That was-
The first boss. That is incredibly memorable for a first boss.
Yep.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway, so
Yourself?
as for me, the majority of my time has been spent in Clone Hero. So if you have no idea what Clone Hero is, it is a fan-made PC port of Guitar Hero. Yes.
The look of realization on
Yeah.
your face.
Yeah. So the reason why I got into this is because I can't believe I'm saying this. Thanks to Fortnite, Rock Band and Guitar Hero have like risen from the dead, because I think it was like last year or the year before, Epic Games actually just absorbed harmonics into itself.
Yeah.
And they just created Guitar Hero, but in Fortnite. And because of which, new Guitar Hero controllers are actually being made. So I got one, and it's really good. So I've just been like playing that, and boy, 10 years of Rust is really hard to like scrape off, let me tell you. My hands are so slow, so pathetic. But like anything that's like a fast drum, oh yeah, I'm good at that. But like anything with like the left hand's like, nah, too slow, too slow.
Got to practice the left hand again.
Yeah.
But how's the Fortnite Guitar Hero mode?
Oh, I tried so hard to get that to work. It has the worst lag I've ever seen. Like when Guitar Hero first came out, like you really didn't need to like calibrate for lag, because like when it first came out, we were still using, CRT TVs. No lag whatsoever.
Those days.
But once HD came in, you need to, calibrate some things. Yeah, like usually it's like not that much, like 8 to 10 millisecond like delay. There was so much of a delay that I capped out on like the actual UI and couldn't get any further. So I literally couldn't play Fortnite Festival. It is that bad. The lag was like straight up like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
for a rhythm game
For a
specifically.
really game,
Like-
that's impossible.
Like 20 frames is considered bad.
Yeah.
2.5 seconds
Yeah.
is horrendous.
Yeah. It's pointless at that point.
So I wanted to show that off on stream, but I couldn't.
I'm trying to picture this in my mind, what this looks like. So is it like you're in the world of Fortnite, but it's then Guitar Hero?
Yes.
Are you still moving around as a character? or
No,
is it just
no,
like-
no. It has its own like special like stage
Okay.
section that you hop on.
Kind of like
to-
the Lego Fortnite is its own game mode.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I dabbled once into Fortnite, and then a 8-year-old yelled at me.
I've
Yeah.
never played it, so I've
Like
just seen
Fortnite
Okay.
Festival was legitimately the first time I've ever booted up Fortnite, and I feel bad for having a Fortnite account now because of it. But like I'm actually kind of bummed, because like it was the perfect time to get me specifically into Fortnite, because the most recent patch added 3 things that I love: Lego, racing, and Metallica. Like the entire band of Metallica is just
in Fortnite as themselves. I'm like, you know what? I might want to get some trick shot headshots as Lars Ulrich.
or buff Peter Griffin.
Oh god.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
That was a thing.
Fortnite is.
It's weird.
It is such a strange game.
Yeah.
It is.
And canonically, Star Wars happens in it.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Episode 9, the title call screen
Yeah.
canonically happens because it happens in Fortnite. That's how they announced all that stuff. The whole like Emperor's voice coming across the universe, that was in Fortnite.
Yeah. Somehow Palpatine has returned. Yeah. That's Fortnite's fault.
I just don't understand what Fortnite is anymore.
It can be whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, and that's the problem because like I just don't like because I guess as humans we're so used to putting everything into a box. Like, what is this game? It does this. Okay, cool. But now it's like more of a platform.
Yeah.
by the
It
sound
is
of
the everything game.
Okay.
It's almost like Unreal Engine.
Right.
Yeah.
It feels like everything and nothing.
Like Unreal Engine or like Gary's Mod or something.
Sure.
Yeah, but monetized with like anime and wrestling skins. It is the weirdest amalgamation of like every IP in existence
Yeah.
ever.
It's like going into weird rabbit holes on the internet and just finding like VR chat videos and just being like, what am I looking at? What am I watching?
Like seeing James Hetfield do the Peter Griffin Bird is the Word dance
Yeah.
is I think I had a brain aneurysm seeing that. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so news time.
Yeah.
So, like we mentioned at the beginning, we have E3 season, which we can't really call E3 season. Yeah, fun. But basically, like hundreds of games just got announced.
Yeah.
It is like the busiest time for any kind of like gaming news, anything. So we're gonna try and just go through this as quickly as possible.
Lightning round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lightning round. So I took the pleasure of going through every single one of these and jotting down every game that was announced.
Good lord.
Yeah, that
The
took
physical
a
pain you had in saying every single one of these.
yeah. Yes, there's only so many times I can say, oh, this game was shown off at like multiple different places, but
And these are already the big ones as well. Like there's
yeah, these are the
like
big
House
ones.
of
Like,
Games Fest
yeah,
and everything.
yeah, like I didn't put in things like the indie showcase, the what is it? The what's the company that does Devolver?
Yeah,
Devolver.
Devolver, Day of the Devs. as
Yeah,
well.
Dave. Yeah, God, there's so many things, but
Literally hundreds of games.
yeah,
were
yeah,
announced.
we're only talking about like the big four here.
Yeah.
So, doing this in chronological order, we're going to start off with PlayStation. So, PlayStation, the first 10 minutes of their presentation was a new game called Concord, which is basically Overwatch cross Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I get it, but like, when they showed it off, the first thing they showed off was like a 7-minute long like cinematic of like, here's all the characters, here's the world, here's this, here's that, and I'm just looking at like the live stream chat and everyone's just like, get on with it.
Yeah.
Just get on with it. And then we finally see gameplay, see what it is, and like, why would anyone want this?
I know. It looks like 10 boardroom members got together in suits and said, what is the most popular thing happening right now? Well, what is the 5 most popular things? The Guardians of the Galaxy and live service games and all that. And chuck them all together, and there you go. Like, we're going to make billions of dollars.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
every
doesn't
AAA
work
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
essentially.
But yeah, like Overwatch with the tone of Guardians of the Galaxy, it is 8 years too late to, you know.
yeah.
Oh,
Just
just
cash
Guardians
in
of the
on
Galaxy has its own game.
Yeah, that too. That too. So that was a very unfortunate intro to this whole thing. But like, 10 minutes, that's a lot of money you have to spend to show off 10 minutes. Because like, I think there was a tweet going around like roughly the same time. It's like, here's how much like so-and-so amount of time will cost at one of these presentations. That's like close to $5 million that they spent just to make people bored.
I believe for 1 minute at Summer Game Fest, because I know the tweet you're talking about. I think it was 1 minute at Summer Game Fest was $500,000.
Yeah, something crazy like that.
So exactly, that is $5 million.
I know it's the marketing, but like that.
That's a lot of money. That's more money than like we will see in our lifetime, pretty much.
Ever.
Yeah. God.
Combined.
Yeah. But after that, we got the God of War Ragnarok PC port, which everyone kind of knew was already coming because the previous God of War got a PC port. After that, Dynasty Warriors Origins, which, like, when are they not making new Dynasty Warriors games?
It's not really news anymore.
When they're making Hyrule Warriors or Pirate Warriors or
any other kind of warriors you can think
they're good, fun, popcorn, like turn off your brain games.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
mash buttons.
yeah, that's kind of the whole thing with like Muso games, just in general. It's just like pure action, just brain numb.
Yeah.
Like, it appeals to some people, not to me. After that, we have Infinity Nikki. This is just like a very cutesy open world RPG. I think it's made by a Chinese dev. Like, it feels like it's made by a Chinese dev. Just by like
remember this one.
Yeah, I know. Like that's the thing. Like, there are so many games, it's hard to remember what was shown off. Like, what did we see? What didn't we see? Yeah, after that, we got like a little VR game showcase. Skydance, but yeah, Skydance's Behemoth seems okay, but my thing with VR games is like the technology is very limited. There's only like so much you can do in a VR game. So having like VR, sword, shield, fight dudes and all that, it feels like every VR game.
Yeah, I mean, VR is very interesting because, like, you speak to anyone who has a VR headset or is a VR developer, and they swear by it's the future.
Yeah.
And then there's us. Well, us three, I imagine we don't dabble in VR all too often. So it's.
I don't even have a headset for it.
Yeah, neither do I. And every time I
too
put a
expensive.
headset on, I feel like vomiting after 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've heard it's like you play 30 minutes of gameplay for 3 hours of feeling sick.
Yeah.
I can see that. And, like, it's getting better. And speaking to VR developers myself, like, they actually explain how it's getting better and how it's improving. And, yeah, there's a future for it. It's just, I don't think it's going to take off as much as they believe it's going to take off.
It's a niche market.
Yeah, like,
it'll always be a niche market.
yeah, it feels like VR came out like a bit too early to cash in on, how revolutionary the technology is.
Despite what the metaverse wants you to think.
Yeah, exactly.
So after that, still with VR games, we got a VR Alien game, Alien Rogue Incursion, which looks a lot like what was the previous Alien game called?
Isolation?
Yeah, Alien Isolation. It just looks like that, but VR. Yeah.
Which, let's be real, probably terrifying.
Yeah. Like, VR have like Xenomorph like jump right in your face. Yeah, that's gonna be scary as hell.
Yeah, I think VR's perfect for certain types of games.
Horror games like specifically.
Things like Alien, where like you feel isolated and there's something running around. That 3D audio with that, that's where it shines.
Yeah, VR really is like the best for horror.
Project Nightlight, anyone?
I need to get a VR headset so I can actually play the game that I am in. One day. So with that, there was only like 2 VR games, which is weird because like they made such a big deal. It's like, oh, this is our VR showcase. 2 games. Yeah. But immediately after that, we got Marvel Rivals, which is a Marvel Overwatch game, which immediately overshadowed Concord. It looks so much better, and it has characters that people care about because it's Marvel.
Yeah.
So, like, wow, just wow. That is sad. I feel so bad for the people from I don't even know the development team that makes Concord.
I'll look that up while we keep going. Also, Paperweight were the ones that did the Infinite Nikki. And it looks, it's hard to see properly, but it looks like they're Chinese.
Yeah, like looking at the gameplay of that game, it looks like it was a Chinese dev.
I'm not going to touch on that. Speaking
of Chinese devs, though, Where Winds Meet, aka not Sekiro game number 1, which like, it's cool that we're getting like a lot of games like Sekiro, because Sekiro was really good. It feels weird that like all of these games trying to be Sekiro come out all at once, and they're all from China. At least I assume all of them are from China. Most of them, at least. From
What's
what
that
I've
one
heard.
that's like Journey to the West?
We'll get to that later. That's Black Myth Wukong.
That's it.
Yeah. weird that, God, it's amazing that was made by one guy, and that's like,
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's made by one dude, and it's the best looking one of them all.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's insane.
After that, we got a remake of Until Dawn, which, why?
Yeah.
Because that
Sure.
game came out, what, 5-6 years ago? Like, it was on the PlayStation
Yeah,
4.
not that longer.
Yeah, it does not need a remake.
It was early PS4, I think.
Yeah. Like, I made videos on that game. It's that new. Like, we don't need a remake of that.
9 years ago.
9 years ago? Oh my god, we're old. We're old.
9 years ago. So, yeah, 2015. I
Like,
mean,
at-
Last of Us 2 got...
I was just about to say, at least it's not as bad as Last of Us. Like, gets a remake 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
a
Jeez.
remake of the remake.
Yeah. We got the Silent Hill 2 remake being made by Bloober Team. Oh, there's a lot of controversy behind that because, boy, does it not capture Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love that game.
Yeah.
Cult classic.
It is crazy. Like there are creepy people out there that don't like it because like the girls don't look right, and it's like, calm down. But like the real problem is like it's a survival horror game that isn't supposed to have combat in it, but they have like Resident Evil style combat in it,
Okay.
where like the main character, who is some guy, is like very like capable with like hand-to-hand combat, and it's, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Just do PT again.
You're supposed to like run away from the monsters. You're supposed to be scared of them. Don't punch them in the face. After that, we got Monster Hunter Wilds, which is the new like big open world Monster Hunter game.
And you get 2 weapons.
Yeah, you actually get 2 weapons, which, as weird as that sounds for people who don't know Monster Hunter, that is huge. That is huge.
Like the greatsword.
Yeah, shut up. But yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds looks good because it's a Monster Hunter game.
It's Monster Hunter 6.
Yeah, all Monster Hunter games look good,
It's,
pretty
it's
much.
it's the next mainline one.
Yeah. And finishing off the PlayStation event was Astrobot. So if anyone has ever, bought a PlayStation 5, you would know Astro's Playroom, which is like a little little tech demo just to show off all the capabilities of the PlayStation 5. Well,
Never played it.
this is
Yeah, me neither. Meaning
I
to.
I have this, I'm going to play this instead.
like it's really good.
Yeah,
It
looks
is
really
a
good.
fantastic game. So I am glad that they're actually like making a full scale like version of this. Like it still does feel weird that like the game is still pretty much just like, hey, PlayStation, consume. Like your ship is literally just a PlayStation 5. I don't need to buy another one. I already own it to play this. Like,
It's very on the nose.
yeah.
It's got so many references to the past IP. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
That's,
That's
certainly what
why
it's going
like a
for.
lot of people really liked it.
Yeah.
Liked about it because just going around, oh, it's Crash Bandicoot, oh, it's Bloodborne, oh, it's God of War. It's like so many like cool things like that. Yeah.
Out of that whole presentation, I think that's the one that I'm most excited for.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah.
It just sucks that I had to sit through like 45 minutes to get to the one game I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, the one I like the most is the most Nintendo looking
Yeah. It
non-PlayStation.
it is wild that like PlayStation is doing a Nintendo style game and Nintendo at the moment are doing a PlayStation style game.
with the creepy horror one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, with Emio. Oh,
Which
dear.
we know nothing about.
We do now.
Yeah, we do
Oh,
now.
I
Yeah,
missed
news.
it.
Yeah, news of that came out today, which we.
Well, I've been working, so...
Yeah.
That's the, and I was telling you before, that's the Famicom Detective Club.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Okay.
So yeah.
There you
Guess we're jumping into that since we're in the middle of this. Yeah. Nintendo just weirdly just showed off like a horror game teaser out of nowhere like a couple of days ago, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, new IP, new horror game from Nintendo." Nintendo never does horror. And then we find out it's actually like a new Famicom Detective Club game, which new game in like what 30 years, something like that.
Yeah.
They did the remakes recently.
2000.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
have remakes, but like actual new
Yes.
game.
Mm.
Yeah, and of
Maybe
course,
that's why they did the remakes.
Yeah.
Probably.
To get
That's-
it back into
I-
the public zeitgeist.
I believe that's what the director actually said. It's like, oh yeah, we were making this as we were making the remakes.
There you go.
So yeah, but of course the fan outcry of this is just like, This isn't what we want. We don't like this. And it's like, you Nintendo fans are always talking about Nintendo always pushing their like old IPs under the rug. But when we finally get like a new game from an old IP, it's like, no, not that one though.
Yeah.
Well, I can see why Nintendo fans wouldn't like it because it's a visual novel and most Nintendo fans aren't old enough to read yet. So...
As you say that to two Nintendo fans.
Yeah, I know. I know I'm like smacking the bee's nest here.
Honestly, like I had exactly the opposite reaction. I saw it and I was like, because horror is not my thing personally. But I looked at it and was like, oh, that's cool. It's interesting more for the story around Nintendo and what Nintendo's doing. Yeah. As soon as they announced it was Famicom Detective Club, I'm like, okay, let's go. Now I'm in. Now I'm keen for it. Like, and you're gonna get people who probably wanted Eternal Darkness, or Geist, or something like that. They wanted Nintendo to try to make a third-person horror game, but there's no point at this stage because your Capcoms are doing that with Resident Evil and all these other companies.
It's this
are doing
oversaturated genre.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we just went through the PlayStation presentation, and all of them were like half of them were the exact game that people wanted Emio to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't need that. You've already got them.
Got that all over here. Go over there.
Yeah, exactly. And, so many of them end up coming to Nintendo eventually, anyways. But
let's have other visual novels.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm really keen for it. I need to play the original Famicom Detective Clubs because they just look really nice as like a sit-down 7-hour experience.
All right, now
sorry to jump ahead.
Yeah, so going back, so we just finished the PlayStation announcement. So let's go to Summer Games Fest, which is primarily PC stuff. Starting off with Lego Horizons Adventures. So perfect time for you to get into Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah,
play the Lego version.
Yeah, just play the game again, but Lego.
Is it the original game redone as Lego?
No. I think it's like its own unique thing. But like a lot of people were like, yeah, Horizons is good, but why is it teaming up with Lego of all things?
It's certainly out of left field. That's
it's making people think like it's an industry plant franchise.
Yeah. It's probably to get more of a casual audience and trying to piggyback on Lego.
They have made Lego versions of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, like actual
so
physical
they've actually
products.
done that already. So they probably went, hey, we've already worked with this. We should make a game about this.
Yeah.
They probably contacted Nintendo first. Lego Mario, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
Only on Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. God, speaking of like Nintendo though, while that this PlayStation property is being ported to the Switch.
Yeah, it's wild.
Is it on like everything?
I think it's on everything, yeah. Like I saw like right at the end of splash screen where it's showing off like all the consoles that it's on. I was shocked to see Nintendo on there. It's like, why is it there is no like even though it's a Lego game, there is no way that's running on the Switch.
The Lego games generally work pretty well on the Switch.
Yeah,
but like the Horizon stuff in it also has like a lot of flash and like lights and like special effects and all that.
Toned down then.
Yeah, definitely watered down, absolutely. But like obviously we know what's happening with the gaming industry at the moment. It's a very difficult industry to be in. Like layoffs everywhere, so and we've seen it with Microsoft. They're trying to get all their games onto different platforms. And that's purely for financial reasons. Like, games are becoming more and more expensive and cost of living is only going up. So they kind of have to. And it's not a bad strategy. Like, put the Lego game, the spin-off game, on all platforms. So then trying to bring over some of that audience to PlayStation.
Which is the same reason why they do PC ports. It's like, you can try this, but then you get the actual new version of it here.
Exactly. So it is a strategy. It's just we're so conditioned to be like PlayStation exclusives on PlayStation. That's it. That's Xbox. Like Halo is only going to be on Microsoft.
Like you remember like the hissy fit PlayStation fans had when God of War went to PC?
Yeah, it was a massive outcry.
Yeah, it's like, why are you guys complaining? That just means more people can play the game that you like.
Yeah. And then there's Nintendo that's still being like, no, but that being said, like,
it's working for them.
Well, exactly right. Like, every other company seems to be doing layoffs, and then Nintendo's doing pay rises.
Yeah.
For their employees.
I think this is the Switch has sold more than every other Nintendo console combined in history.
The
In
Switch,
terms of money, like monetary value.
Oh yeah, in terms of
yeah, in
profit,
terms of
yeah,
monetary
no,
profit.
like it's bigger than that. The Switch has earned Nintendo more money than the entirety of like their 100+ years of business. We got Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So
Probably
The
10 years too
worstly
late.
designed sport in history.
yeah,
Oh yeah, it is so flawed.
like it feels weird that a Harry Potter Quidditch game hasn't been made yet. At
Yeah,
least I don't
that's
think
it.
so.
No, it hasn't.
No.
They've had mini games in like the games they've made
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
but
but
never
not
an
like-
actual Quidditch
Yeah,
sport game.
That's
yeah.
why I say it's definitely 10 years too late. I reckon.
Yeah, and especially now with people's position on J.K. Rowling and everything she does. It's,
Yeah.
Honestly, I expected it to be in Fortnite. I'm
They-
surprised it's not a standalone game. to be honest.
Afterwards, we got Star Wars Outlaws, which isn't that the big open world Star Wars game?
Yeah, the Ubisoft one.
Yeah. Of course, it's Ubisoft.
It looks alright. Like,
yeah.
it just looks like another Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
At least
Like-
it's not the EA Battlefield 2.
True.
Yeah. Like, sure, we can rag on Ubisoft all we want, but like, it's better than what we had.
Oh, don't you worry, I will. I just love how every game is just go up this tower, reveal the map. Every game they've made in like the past.
Breath of the Wild.
I was just thinking
Yeah, I
the
know,
same thing.
I know, but like that's their one.
Yeah.
Ubisoft has been remaking
yeah,
the same game for the past 15 to 20 years now.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's
Just
always
reskinning it.
Nintendo does something revolutionary, everyone copies, and then Nintendo does something revolutionary again, and then everyone copies, and rinse and repeat.
After that, we got Never, which is a
Yes.
new game by the developers of Gree.
Nomad Studio.
Yeah. So
Love the look at this one.
I never played Gree. It
Never
just
heard
it
of it.
it just feels like one of
Never.
those.
Ah,
Shut up. It just feels like one of those games that like people on Twitter would just label as like indie game about depression.
What's a Twitter?
I thought that was going to be. I thought there was going to be more than that, but like, no, they're right.
Yeah, it's. If I vaguely, because it was so long ago that I played Gris, and it was, because Gris means or gris, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I believe it's a French word, so it would probably
It is.
be gris.
Yeah, it's French for grey.
yeah.
So the idea is that it is like the world is grey, and as you go, you're colouring it in. That's the idea of grey. So it's becoming from grey into colour. But yeah, Never had. If it has the dog, does it?
Is it a dog or is it a deer? No, there's another game called Deer and Boy that's very similar.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
notice when this was announced. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, there's another Never.
Yeah.
But it does look really good. It's very pretty.
I remember making a joke about it when I was streaming my reaction to it. It's like, never, more like never gonna play this game. Oh, zing. And I felt bad about that.
So you made the exact same thing I just did.
yeah.
And you had a thing at me.
Yeah, I know. Then we got Black Myth Wukong, which
Yay.
we like talked about before. Really big game where you play as Sun Wukong from it's
Journey to the West.
just Journey to the West, but
Or
plays like
Goku.
Journey to the West / Goku in
Slash
like a,
every ever anime protagonist ever.
yeah, pretty much, but in a
Shonen.
Souls-like game. Yeah. Afterwards, we got Once Human, which is a game that's actually doing really well right now because I think it like only just released a couple of days ago. I have no idea what that game is about because like that trailer showed off like
So this
kind
is
of
a survival
nothing.
game.
Yeah, it's a survival crafting game where like I think like pretty much everything has been turned into like a D&D mimic. And you can like capture some of them and use them to help on your farm, kind of like Pal World.
Nathan's confused.
I think that's how that game is.
Nathan looks confused.
Yeah,
I'm just interesting
Processing.
concept.
yeah. Like I could see the wheels turning the second I said D&D mimic.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Where is this going?
Yeah. After that, we have Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. So I played a little bit of Space Marine 1 on a stream once. I say a little bit because the game crashed and I couldn't get it to boot back up again. But from what I played, it was actually like really fun, really good. It's like the first time I've actually like tried to do anything Warhammer.
The only thing
So-
I know about Warhammer is orcs with a K. And colors make things happen.
Yeah.
Colors have reasons.
Yeah. It's
You know more than me.
Yeah, Warhammer is like I decided to try and get into Warhammer this year, and it is impenetrable. It is absolutely impenetrable. I have no idea how people get into that franchise. After that, we have Metaphor ReFantazio, which is Atlas's new big game. I have many words.
I'll leave this to you.
I have many words about this because
I have some words.
I have 0 words.
yeah, my thoughts about this is they specifically said Metaphor ReFantazio will reinvent the world of the RPG. Then they just made Persona 5 again.
Yeah.
It's literally just Persona 5, but in the fantasy world.
It's interesting. Like, I mean, because Jake, we've talked about this many times in that, like, I needed to get into the Persona series. I played through 4, which is your favorite. It was okay.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
It's aged, so like there's some tweaks to it. And I played the start of the new 3.
Yeah.
And it was fine, but it was on Xbox, and it was like I didn't want to be tired because it's like, I don't know, it's just easier on Switch. Because it's so damn long. But like this game is more, I guess, my speed, because like it is very fantasy.
Yeah.
Isn't it like? Doesn't it have some kind of connection with George R. R. Martin, or am I thinking of something different?
That would be Elden Ring.
Yeah,
you're
sorry.
thinking of.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He's
it looks
got
kind
his
of
fingers in a lot of things. Like
Yeah, true.
It looks kind of. It looks like very fantasy, like Game of Thrones-esque.
Yeah.
And like that kind of intrigues me if it can adopt the Persona style.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're going for. So I reckon it's working in the fact that they are reaching a different audience with this. But I imagine Persona fans are probably like yourself, like exactly what you said. It's like,
Yeah,
this is
it's just Persona 5 again.
exactly.
Persona 5, but fantasy.
Yeah, Persona 5's success has done terrible, terrible things to Atlas. I will say.
Yeah, I can, from an outsider's perspective, I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, because it really feels like every game that they're trying to make has some elements of Persona 5 in it, just to get people who jumped in on Persona 5 into the rest of their games.
Yeah,
it is.
I can see that.
Yeah. After that, we have the announcement that Street Fighter 6 is going to have Terry Bogard and Mai Shiranui from Fatal Fury, and the return of Eleanor and M. Bison as new characters. I know that means absolutely nothing to both of you.
Nah.
But
Terry's in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
He is.
I know, and Bison is
yeah,
big, strong guy.
I'm glad that you know Terry Bogard, because I went nuts when I saw Terry Bogard in that trailer. It's like, yeah, are you okay? Blast 2 off! His Japanglish is hilarious. I love it. Fatal Fury, City of the Walls, just in case you didn't have enough Terry Bogard. We have Battle Crush, which is a battle royale game with MOBA-style combat. Those are 2 very different genres, so I don't know how both of those would go together. It feels...
It's experimental.
Yeah, it's very experimental. It's a very, like, wait-and-see kind of game on that. Then we have Mecha Break, big mecha fight game, fly around, transform your mecha into a jet. It looks cool if you're really into mecha stuff.
Like yourself?
No, I'm not really into mecha.
I thought you were, like Transformers and stuff.
It's okay. This is very, very difficult to explain because it's so specific. I like robots.
Okay.
Not mecha.
Not piloted robots.
Mecha are fursuits for people that want to be robots.
God, no.
Get it right, yeah.
Get it right. Afterwards, we have the horror movie studio Blumhouse. How do you pronounce it?
Blumhouse.
Yeah. They just opened up their own game studio and just making a whole bunch of different horror games. There was too many to even list. They just fired them off like crazy. Yeah. Oh, this next one is super exciting for me, being a fanboy of this. Power Rangers Reader's Rewind. At points, the game looks very rough, and then at other points, it pops off so hard. It looks so cool with like the old Super Nintendo style 3D effects on that, and it technically being a part of the Netflix reunion series. It's kind of cool that it's tying into that. So I'm really excited about that. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. a lot of people really like the original Kingdom Come
Yeah.
Deliverance.
I heard
yeah.
a lot of people in the chat going pretty crazy about
Yeah, yeah. Like, all I really remember about the first game was, like, the combat was kind of, like, it was very realistic in air quotes. So, like, it was clunky, but, like, if you got it, it felt really good. So, for those people who really like Kingdom Come Deliverance, you got another one.
Did anyone see the Switch port of the original?
I did.
bad.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's not good.
People see money on the Switch, but don't
Optimize it correctly.
optimize. Yeah, or like
They don't want to
even-
put in the effort to
Yeah.
make it decent.
Yes.
Mm.
Because that game could run that.
Yeah.
If you can get Witcher 3 running on it, you can get
Which
Kingdom
is
Come Deliverance.
insane.
Yeah, like
just
that
the
is
amount- the
that
amount
is
of
Slavic witchcraft right there.
Yeah, it's the amount of money and effort and resources you put into it. And if you release a crappy game, you're going to get crappy sales.
Afterwards, we have Slitherhead, which a lot of people just assumed it was going to be a horror game, but it's actually an action game.
I don't
Because
remember this one.
it's I can't remember who
See, I
makes
hear
it,
Sliver and I just think of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
There's a tribe in that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
but yeah, like it's about like weird like alien parasites, like
Hence the Sliver.
yeah, the Slitherhead, like possessing people and like destroying the planet. But like you are one as well, so you possess other people and fight back, and it actually has really cool looking combat.
Kind of reminds me of, what was that Metroidvania from Devolver?
They made
The one of
yeah.
many.
Yeah, the one of many.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, that doesn't narrow it down. No, there was a Metroidvania where you are the parasite and you controlled.
Where's Steve? We got to ask him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was it that one with like where you play as like the big ball of flesh?
Yeah,
Carrion, I believe.
Carrion.
That was called.
That is exactly it.
yeah,
Yep.
that's a great game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember Slitherhead, but is it kind of similar to that, but in a actiony style?
It is a 3D action game.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's like, I wouldn't say on the levels of Devil May Cry, but like it is
Okay.
very like action heavy.
Sure.
Like I saw a woman doing like weird like bone finger slash combos.
I don't even know where to go
That's
with that.
body horror when you
Yeah,
think about
yeah.
it, like, your body's being possessed and things like that are happening to your body.
Yeah, I think another dude turns his intestines into a minigun. The look on your face, Nathan.
Lovely.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
it is gross, but a lot of people like weird, gross things like that.
It's true.
Yeah. Afterwards, we have Killer Bean. So, do you guys know anything about Killer Bean?
I've seen it. I saw the trailer. I rolled my eyes and then stopped paying attention for a little while.
And I think Mr. Bean.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know Killer Bean, it was originally a movie made by the special effects artist from Matrix.
Wait, really?
Yeah. All of the money he earned from Matrix, he turned into a action movie about like a coffee bean assassin. It's very cheap looking, but it's so cool.
Interesting.
It's like the dumb kind of cool.
Yeah, it looks exactly like that. That's exactly
like-
what I think.
A roguelike action game set in the world of that movie.
Okay.
I am actually super excited
You're
about Killer
unironically
Bean.
excited.
I love Killer Bean.
So it's the perfect niche for you.
Yeah.
Not a sentence I expected to hear today.
Like, I believe you can watch it for free.
this off.
Yeah, I believe you can watch it for free on YouTube. I believe he has it on his YouTube channel, just
That's funny.
available. After that, we have Can, which is I have written down here, arty game about climbing.
It's the very Australian. Can.
Yeah. well, it's just put an S there and you got cans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like a lot of that trailer was just like a woman climbing a mountain and like getting up and then screaming because there was more mountain.
Yeah, and they've done mountain climbing before. Like, there was a game that, like, I literally just tried out on Game Pass, like, 6 months ago. And it was just climbing. And it's, like, very Uncharted-esque. But, like, playing Horizon at the moment, the climbing is the most boring part of that game. Because it is...
Breath of the Wild climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. It's just,
It's the most, like, annoying part of it.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to climb.
No, just get me there.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me teleport.
Like, I don't know what it is, but just a lot of games about climbing recently.
Exactly.
It's just,
It's got to have an audience. I imagine there are, like
if you want to go out and climb, go out and climb. Like,
Like there
Maybe it's
are
for people who are scared of heights.
The Venn diagram of climbers and gamers has to be very small.
yeah, it has to be right.
But the money is there.
It's
Yeah.
there.
It's an untapped
It's
market.
an untapped market, so you have to go for it.
Yeah,
But it's also very tapped because there's a lot of games doing climbing.
Afterwards, we have Wonder Stop, which is the new game by the developers of the Stanley Parable, which is very interesting. It's it seems to be a like a farming simulator where you're like working at a coffee shop, but the character that you play as was like a pit fighter, and they are struggling with the life, like a cozy life. They want to go back in the pit and fight things. Like that is an interesting concept, but I'm like, if I wanted to play a game about a character that wants to fight, I'd just play an action game.
I just think Yakuza.
Yeah.
I just think Kiryu is just like
Trying to retire.
Yeah, and then everyone's just pulling him back, and then he ends up doing like weird stuff, like I don't know, motor cars. And
That man fist fought a shark, and I love the Yakuza
so
games
good.
so much.
Should you say Like a Dragon now?
yeah,
Yeah, I guess we have to. Yeah. Afterwards, we have Entoria, the Last Song, which is like a Souls-like game, but like its main mechanic is like you swap masks, and I believe that changes like your moveset.
you realize we're only halfway down through the list.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Just pointing that out.
Yeah. The Summer Games Fest was 4 hours long. So yeah, having to sit through that again just to do this list.
You could have just looked up a list of what.
I wanted it to be in chronological order. Believe me, I tried to get a list that someone has made that was in chronological order. I had to do this myself because everyone else on the internet is incompetent.
So now you've got to go back through, get the trailers, and now make your own chronological order
Yeah, I work too hard. I really do.
for no reason.
For no reason. For no reason.
The tens and tens of people who listen to this, will thank you for it.
Afterwards,
Who
we
won't
have,
see the list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the two of
The
us.
list is just for us.
Enough about the list.
So yeah, next we have The First Descendant, which is another game that came out like semi-recently, which is doing all right, which is weird because I watched that trailer and I thought nothing of it.
Yeah.
There.
Like the only thing that stuck out to me is, oh, that girl's weird sci-fi mech outfit has bunny ears. I don't know why, but okay. But apparently it's doing wonders, so yay! Afterwards, some people from Inner Sloth, the developers of Among Us, you know, the indie darling, came out and announced that they're just making a new company that just funds indie games.
Yeah. This is something I really want to
Yeah,
talk
this
about.
is wild.
Unsurprisingly.
Yeah, this is wild.
Was
Yeah.
it Innersoft Innersoft? You've got Yacht Club games that do the same thing. You've got Playtonic that does the same thing as well.
Yeah, I mean they're a bit different though because
They're more
Playtonic,
publishing?
yeah, Playtonic specifically publish and
Yeah.
Yacht Club Games specifically publish. What these guys are doing is literally just funding it.
So they're basically investors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're investors
it's
without
an
doing the
investing
publishing.
company. Yeah,
And-
like they specifically said, like we want to give funding to indie devs, like we wish we had.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it's just so awesome to see. And like you see bigger companies, you know, you always think of your EA and your Activision, so your main ones you go to, and they're obviously very money hungry, and it's all about maximizing profits. Whereas like I don't know, it's just why I like the indie scene so much because they help each other out. It's more community based.
Yes.
And you just get all these small little games that not every game needs to be an Among Us. Not every game needs to be a massive success, but like you put it out there and you just let people try and some amazing things can come out of it. So I want to see more stuff like this, honestly. And
Yeah.
I kind of hope / wish the Australian developers would do that. The developers behind Hollow Knight are doing this a
Think
little
so.
bit. They haven't announced anything. It's not
But
a
they're
massive thing.
doing it on their on the download basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're helping out a couple of friends
Yeah.
here in SA with some funding. And
So when you interview with them,
yeah, exactly.
still trying.
I'm working on it. But yeah, even just that, like, it's just good to see the indie dev community, and I hope Australia and SA do it a little bit more because the funding here in Australia and South Australia in particular is not great.
Mm.
Yeah,
I can-
it's like you have to go through like Screen Australia and stuff.
Screen Australia specifically, and South Australia is the only state that doesn't do state funding.
Ah.
Of course.
Yeah, we do. Well, South Australia does they'll pay for you to go to PAX,
Yeah.
for example. But like Queensland is ironically the biggest state at the moment. They do up to $300,000.
I've heard there's a few games come from there.
Yeah,
That's where Hand of Fate came from.
Yep. Max Mustard, which was the new VR 3D platformer. That's from there. Like Brisbane are doing $300,000 for developers, and yet SA is doing. You can go to PAX.
I mean, we were the state that had the guy that was behind keeping the R18 rating out of Australia for video games.
Yeah.
He was a senator in Australia.
Yeah.
In South Australia specifically.
Yeah.
Croydon Park, from memory.
Lovely. And it's just a bit sad, and it makes me worry because we're going to be so far behind. We already are so far behind, but we're just going to be left in the dust at this rate. And we've got so much talent here.
Yeah. As you would personally know.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of talent. Anyways, I could do a whole episode on this.
Yeah,
That's another time.
Yeah, we're already strapped for time with this one. So continuing on with that, more Among Us news. They showed off, bits of the TV show and like the cast, like Phil Lamar. I'm blanking on his name. Hobbit. What is his name?
Hobbit.
Martin Freeman.
No, not Martin Freeman.
Elijah Wood.
Oh, thank you. Elijah Wood is in it. Yes. So
I meant the actual
Yeah.
Hobbit.
so yeah, like there's gonna be like a lot of like actual like celebrities in this. I don't know how an Among Us TV show would work when it's just so very simple in concept.
If they can make a
I mean, there's
Kirby-
a story there.
Yeah, but it's like, who's the imposter? Who is the thing from
Yeah, but
the
like
movie
they
The Thing?
they could make it kind of like a horror story because isn't there? Yeah, because like there's the movie thing. So like
it's The Thing, but for kids.
But you kind of like I think it kind of follows on with like each of the maps kind of like follow the story a little bit.
I wouldn't know. I never played.
Because
Among
I
Us.
haven't played much. I know you start on the first one's the spaceship, and then there's like a volcano one. So it's like the spaceship's landed,
right.
and then it's still there.
All right, so after that we have Sonic X Shadow Generations. So I touched on this a little bit before, but this is basically just a remake of Sonic Generations, but they added Shadow the Hedgehog in it.
So how much of the 2000s edge is there?
There is so much. like it really feels like after Shadow the Hedgehog, like his own like game came out, and we just see him like gunning down people with like actual guns.
You mean
like,
Owl the Edge?
Just shut up. But like that was the edgiest it could be, and then everyone made fun of it for like a decade, and then it got to the point where kids who grew up with that are now adults, and they want more of it. So Sega's like, yeah, let's go back to cringe. Let's go back to edgy cringe. And they are going full force with it. Like I said, Shadow just explodes into weird, like, Venom symbiote wings out of nowhere.
So they're gonna work with the people who made the Darkness games.
I wish, because that would be cool. Those games are great, actually. Like, if it's anything like the Shadow DLC from Sonic Forces, it'll be 3 levels. It'll just be 3 levels, and that's it. Like, something that you can beat in, like, 10 minutes.
So worth it.
Yeah, totally worth your money. Alan Wake 2's Night Springs DLC, plus its like physical deluxe edition, because apparently it didn't have that.
Yeah. It was nominated for Game of the Year and didn't have a physical edition.
Yeah, wild, right? Honkai Star Rail showed off one of the main characters getting a new outfit. That trailer was totally worth the $200,000.
I mean, that's chump change for him.
True,
Yeah.
but
And those people
Yeah.
spend crazy monies and will actually get excited over a character.
people
outfit.
who play MiHoYo games are insane.
Yeah.
They are legitimately insane. Because the pop-off in chat was nuts when that was announced. It's like, she's just wearing a different outfit. Who cares?
But she's got a new hat.
Yeah,
It's literally that. It's just the same Malibu Stacy, but she's got a new hat. Afterwards, they shown off that Dark and Darker is back, because like it was like released for a little bit, then they had to pull it off storefronts for some reason.
All I can think is Dumb and Dumber.
Same.
Well, the edgy version.
yeah.
I've
But
heard it's actually really good.
yeah. From what I hear, it is like a fantastic.
Yeah, Jim
game.
Carrey's pretty good.
We have Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, which is like Capcom's new game.
I've actually heard this is really good.
I heard middling things. I
Fair.
saw 7 out of 10 reviews.
No,
Yeah.
I've heard like, and if you're like really into that kind of like stuff, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like strategy action. It's like from the trailer, it is really hard to describe.
Yeah.
Yeah. They announced that yes, they are still working on Skate.
This
The game isn't dead.
this commercial was well off.
Yeah.
It's just so off the mark in so many ways.
Yeah. Guy.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they're still doing it.
Yeah. Like, I had no idea what the game was until, like, you know, like the first bit of the trailer, like, showed off. They went back to, like, the stage, came back, was like, oh, yeah, this is Skate, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all about like the company going bankrupt and like having a bad work culture and all
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. I'm just like, what is the point of anything?
Yeah,
Like,
what's this got to do with Skate?
again, $500,000 per minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Power World's new major update, adding in a new area called Sakurajima, which is probably the most not Japan name I have ever heard.
There's Sakura in it, yeah.
Yeah. But, like, everything is literally just Japanese themed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured. With a name like Sakurajima, I
Yeah.
figured.
Yeah. But, like, the fact that this is just free in a game that only costs, like, what, $10?
I have no idea.
Something like that. And it was outselling Pokemon
Jeez.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on Power World. After that, Riot Games continuing to let people know that Valorant exists. I don't know why they spent 10 minutes just showing off, like, hey, this game that's been out for like 5 years. Yeah, they're like, there's nothing new. It's there though.
Yeah.
God.
Again, $5 million for that.
Yeah.
What I could do.
Riot
with $5
has a
million.
lot of money.
Yeah.
But what I-
Did you hear about the skin that they sold in League of Legends that was $500?
No. No.
It was supposed to be a celebration for like a player. who
Like a
is-
pro sports
Yeah,
player.
a pro sports player who is notorious for not using skins. Only uses the default skin. So to celebrate how good this guy is, $500 skin that he's not going to use.
I don't get it.
It,
I don't
I don't get it.
It is so dumb.
I just don't understand the culture of this anymore.
Modern video games. After that, they had a wide shot to the audience. It's like, hey, look, Yong Yi is here, and most people like, who? But yeah, for those who don't know, Yong Yi is a YouTuber who was actually brought in to do the English voice of Kazuma Kiryu for the latest Like a Dragon games, which we were talking about before. And as a voice actor, I can't do better than him, but he was not good for that role. He was very much not good for that role. He was, nah. But yeah, they talked about him because he's in Inside Out 2 playing a video game character. And they just showed off
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what character.
then they showed off a scene of that video game character being cringe.
Because I have seen that movie.
Yeah.
Because the video game voice actor couldn't possibly do anything else.
Yeah.
They had to voice a video game
To be
character.
fair, it
Yeah.
is a big thing, and they have a lot of high profile actors in it, which gets them.
I
in
know.
line.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
true,
Yeah.
true. Like
It's
animated
the irony that annoys
yeah, like animated movies these days, well, for the past like 30 years it feels like only hire, celebrities.
Yeah.
They don't hire actual voice talent. So still that's technically like big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Afterwards we have Supercell Games, which you would probably know as Castle Crashers, those guys, mobile. They stole 5 minutes of my own life and I want it back. Have you guys seen the trailer that they put out for Squad Busters, their new mobile game?
I don't touch anything from them
Yeah,
for a reason.
I'm not surprised. But
For a reason.
it is possibly the worst thing I have ever witnessed with my eyeballs. And it just made me mad.
I don't recall what this is. I'm going to do a quick Google search.
No, don't jump over the table.
I'm still
do it.
dumbfounded that there's an esports scene for Castle Crashers.
Yeah, that surprised me too. I was like, why?
It just looks
It's
like
a-
I've seen it 100 times before.
It's
Like,
a mobile game you play for 2 minutes when you're on the toilet.
yeah.
Why is there an esports scene for this? And then finally, Phantom Blade Zero, which is yet another not Sekiro game. They all just kind of blended together. But we are now officially halfway through the list. Yeah, let's go.
How much time do we legitimately have? Because like,
We're a little over an hour. Anyway, Xbox. So,
Before we more sure.
yeah, okay.
an actual good presentation overall. This
Weirdly enough, yeah, because like everyone was like all angry at Xbox because they just fired like nearly 2,000 people.
I mean, yeah, we didn't forget about that.
Yeah. So this is them trying to like quickly patch up Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
It's just immediately. Then, yeah, that made like, the casual gaming crowd go, "Whoa, my God, new Call of Duty." And then immediately after that, new Doom.
That
And-
looks sick.
Yeah, like everyone else that like doesn't play Call of Duty is like, okay, now I'm interested.
Yeah.
That's you got your two crowds.
I need to go back and play Doom and Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Like I haven't actually played them, but I need to. It's been on my list for so long.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I need to play them for this. This
Yeah,
looks
like-
so good.
This feels like the kind of thing that like a lot of people would be like, but how does Doom transition from like fighting demons on Mars to fighting demons in like a weird medieval setting on Earth? And to them, I'm like, who cares?
To them, you put a skull into a crunching thing, and it crunches up the skull and shoots demons with the skull pieces. That is awesome. That is the most metal thing ever.
You have like a shield that has like
Remind me
chainsaw
again,
blades
what was one
on
of the
it.
first songs you taught yourself on guitar?
Yeah. It was all for this moment.
Yeah. Like, that game looks so cool. It is like the most like, dude, bro, this is sick. This
Yeah.
is metal kind of thing ever. I want to inject it directly into my veins.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this one to you.
Oh, yes, because next up, Dragon Age, formerly Dreadwolf, now Veilguard. As a Dragon Age fan, it hurts. It just hurts having one good game and that's it. It's just, the first game is the only good one.
Yeah.
And like,
The only one I've played.
yeah, and like they showed off this trailer, and it feels like it is another hero shooter like Overwatch or
Concord.
yeah, Concord, or the infinitely superior Marvel rivals. But it
I thought you were
feels
going to say Battleborn.
yeah, yes, actually. The greatest 6 out of 10 you will ever play. I will die on that hill. Like, yeah, that trailer was just kind of a mess. And then, like, people defending it were like, well, yeah, the original Dragon Age Origins trailer was also kind of a mess and misleading. I'm like, yeah, but it showed gameplay.
And it was also, how long ago now?
That came out 2006?
Yeah.
I think. Like, right in the middle of, like, the height of, like,
Oblivion.
well, I was going to say, like, emo culture.
Actually, 2009.
No, 2009?
Mm-hmm.
Huh, okay. Not as old as I thought it was. But yeah, like, still, that's why, like, the original
Still
Dragon Age
15 years
Origin...
ago.
Yeah, that's why the original Dragon Age Origins trailer is so edgy with, like, depressing emo music. Yeah. But, like, yeah, it still showed off gameplay. It showed off what it is. And despite everything, we actually got, like, a feel for what the game is.
Yeah.
It's so depressing being a Dragon Age fan. Speaking of being a depressing fan, Starfield!
Alex.
Why'd you look at me? when you
Did
said
you
that?
play it?
I did.
Yeah,
Eh.
exactly.
You played it, though.
And this DLC is just too little, too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's bad when, like, the modding community looks at a Bethesda game and says, no.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest...
There's like, we can't
Yeah.
fix this.
Yeah, this is so bad, even we can't fix this. But continuing on with more Bethesda games, Fallout 76, Skyline Valley DLC.
At least that game now has NPCs.
Yeah, finally. It has things in it. It has things in it now. Like, the only thing, like, I saw in it that's like, oh, that's kind of interesting, but I wouldn't buy the game for it, is the ability to play as a ghoul. Afterwards, we have Expedition 33, which is a Western turn-based RPG that really, really looks like the developers just played Persona 5 previously.
I mean, at least it's a Western RPG.
Yeah, true, but like the UI designers at least very much played Persona.
Was this the one that was like the action game, and then people were surprised, like, oh my god, it's actually turn-based?
Yeah,
Is that one?
yeah,
Looked alright.
I mean,
yeah. Like it does look alright.
to be fair, the UI in Persona 5 slaps.
Yeah,
It
I
got
know.
it right.
It's
inspiration.
It's understandable, but like, yeah, it's understandable. You would want to take elements of that, but like, at least make it not so obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Afterwards, we have South of Midnight, which all the characters in the game are animated at 24 frames a second. Which, you know, if you know anything about video games, like anything under 60 frames, and people will get really mad.
Isn't that what they do with like the Spider-Verse movies, or is that 12?
Actually, I think that is 12. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking 24 frames because that's just movies
That's
in
the
general.
movies. Yeah. So they
yeah.
do 12. Yeah, they animate on 2s.
Like,
This did frustrate me though, because looking at the live chat and everyone was, you know, it's like, oh, the frame rate's low. It's like it's an animation style.
yeah,
It's
And the
specifically done
gameplay
Yeah,
was 60 FPS.
Yes.
yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
The game looks cool, but people were like, it's not in 60 frames.
Yeah.
Bad. Ew.
That frustrated
As someone
me.
who
watching
doesn't
that.
care about frames for a second, just shh.
yeah,
Yeah.
Let us enjoy our game.
Let people have this cool game about like a talking catfish. All right, this next one is just me because I'm the only one that plays World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Bye.
They showed off the cinematic for World of Warcraft, The War Within. I gotta say, as someone who has been playing World of Warcraft since Cataclysm, so when did that come out? Like 2010. This is probably the most nothing expansion
It did look quite nothing for
Yeah.
someone who doesn't know. Wow.
because
Eh.
like World of Warcraft has been in a very bad state
I've heard.
since Legion came out 2016, so since 2018. So yeah, been a while since it's bad. Like its last expansion, Dragonflight, it took the right step forward, but there's not enough of it.
Yeah.
And War Within, story-wise, feels like nothing, but like actual like quality of life stuff in it is like pretty good. I can't wait for the pre-patch next week.
Everyone was just expecting Xbox to be announced at the end,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
coming to console.
Like as someone who like is like interested in the Warcraft story, I should not be like the most exciting thing in this expansion should not be humans. Afterwards, we have gameplay of the new Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. Any of you played Metal Gear Solid 3?
I haven't played any of them.
Yeah, same.
I
I played Revengeance.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah, because it's the only good one.
It's the most anime one, isn't it?
Like, because it's made by Platinum, so it's made by the people that made like Bayonetta. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
This sounds like the worst company to do a Metal Gear Solid game, because isn't Metal Gear very stealthy?
Yeah, Vengeance
Yeah,
is
but-
very...
And
Yeah.
then get the Bayonetta.
Don't you
people
fight
to
the
do-
president of the United States with nanobots?
he is a senator.
Senator.
Yeah, right.
He is a
There's a
senator,
difference.
but he is the coolest person ever. like,
Saints Row.
like okay, so like he's talking about like he's gonna like do all these awful things like to like the government because like war profiteering and all that. But you're sitting there like he is so charismatic though.
He can get away with it.
Yeah. Like, he literally said, make America great again before Trump did. Yeah, gameplay of Metal Gear Solid 3 looks good. It doesn't have the weird yellow filter on it, and a lot of people are mad about that because, like, anything that's slightly different, people will get mad about. Sea of Thieves got a new update. They didn't say what it was. They just said, hey, new update. Cool.
It's probably going to be a while.
Yeah. Flintlock Siege of Dawn. I don't know what this is.
It's like it's very Legend of Zelda-esque. Reviews literally just dropped of it. 6, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
meh.
I hear Flintlock right after Sea of Thieves. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. We have Age of Mythology Retold.
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah.
This was like peak when
Yeah.
we were in school.
Oh, it looks so good. I am on it day one. And apparently you can play it on Xbox as well. It's coming to Xbox consoles.
There you go.
Nice.
And it's only $40 Australian. And you can play it with a controller or mouse and keyboard.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, on Xbox console. It is
Nice.
also made in SA.
Oh, there you go.
Really?
Tantalus South in SA.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to SA devs.
And they did Luigi's Mansion 2 as well.
Oh, really? I didn't know
SA for the win.
that.
Just get more funding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, we have a new Perfect Dark game. No one expected a new Perfect Dark game. No.
Well, this was announced a while back.
Was it?
Yeah, like 3 years back, and then nothing. And everyone was saying it was like radio silences, development issues, and then they actually revealed gameplay here.
Well,
and
like
it was
Metroid
like,
Prime 4.
Sorry?
Well, like the Metroid Prime 4.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, it was probably around 2019.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple years before Metroid Prime 4, but not as long of a wait. But
Man.
it was pre-announced.
I legitimately do not remember that at all.
It
Wow.
looked fine.
It
gameplay.
was a thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of new games, though, new Fable game, just titled Fable. That's totally not going to be annoying for people who like to categorize things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked alright, though.
Yeah, it looks alright. But, like, I'm one of those weird people that only enjoyed Fable 3. You know, the one that people disliked.
I only played one.
So, I might check that out. I might, maybe.
No. Not going to engage with that.
No.
Bad joke. You should feel bad.
Oh, it was a genuine question. What was?
Not going to engage.
Afterwards, we have Fragpunk, which is a arena shooter like Valorant, but it has a unique mechanic where you pick up cards that activate cheat codes, essentially.
I don't remember this.
So it would do things like flip the world upside down. Characters would enter big head mode, so you'd have like easier headshots, stuff like that. Like, I don't play those kinds of games, but that's a cool idea.
That's a really interesting.
That is a really cool idea. Afterwards, we have Winter Burrow. So this is, I believe it's like a farming sim where you play as like a little mouse character trying to survive like a harsh winter.
Oh, yeah, that looked cute.
Yeah, it looked cute, but also could possibly end up being depressing.
Yeah, and it also stands out in an Xbox showcase.
Yeah, true. With like a lot of like
Especially now that
big
they're in
manly
Activision,
dude bro.
Blizzard,
Yeah.
and
yeah, like a lot of this presentation was like big dude bro kind of games, and then you have something like that, and it immediately stood out. Then we have Mixtape. So this is, I don't really know what this is. This is very similar to Life is Strange, like those kinds of games. I feel just going by the trailer.
Yeah, it's got a very 80s/90s aesthetic.
Yeah, but
which with the name Mixtape makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
It is by the developers of I can't remember the
Yeah, it's Annapurna.
yeah no well that's the publisher.
Oh, right.
The developer, you're gonna love this, Jake. It's the developer of The Artful Escape, a game that was so universally praised, and yet Jake absolutely tore it to shreds.
It is the epitome of everything I hate about indie games and stories about like musicians finding themselves.
Yeah.
It is every cliche about both of those things that I hate mixed into one.
I had to poke the bear.
I know. I mean, he swiped at the beehive earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Everybody gets one.
Yeah.
So after that, who's excited for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? Let's go, planes! For all those like 40-year-old dads out there. So after that, we got the Elder Scrolls Online's new expansion, Gold Road.
That's still going.
Yeah, apparently it's still going. I know absolutely no one that plays Elder Scrolls Online.
The game that brought in microtransactions for everyone.
Yeah. It's the game that started microtransactions in other Bethesda games. After that, speaking of Life is Strange Double Exposure. Is this a spin-off or like sequel?
So it has the same character as the first Life is Strange. Was it Max or something?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I
it's
don't
like
remember her name.
Her ability done again, but she can go through dimensions this time. Like I never played
alternate timeline.
Kind of, yeah. I never played the original. I watched someone play Life is Strange,
Which makes sense with that kind of game.
yeah, and it was fine. It was good, but like
If you say so.
I don't know.
You just don't like that kind of game.
It's
Look, like I made videos about this. I played this with a bunch of my friends, and none of us liked it.
yeah. I don't know. It's for a certain crowd, and
Yeah.
you know that is fine, but I don't know. I think it's oversaturation a little bit now.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
too many.
All right, afterwards, we have Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So
Why
Xbox
are they
has
still
like,
milking this franchise.
yeah, I know.
Alright though.
Oh, it
but
looks
why are they
alright.
still milking this
Yeah.
franchise?
Yeah,
Hmm.
well, they haven't done a video game in like 20 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
they also
think
did
it's
a
because I think it's more because like Tomb Raider does really well.
Yeah.
But no one has like the rights for Tomb Raider except for was it Square
Square.
Enix.
Square.
yeah, yeah.
I thought they sold it actually.
I can't. I think they did.
Interesting. if
like
they sold it.
along when they sold Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah, they sold a whole bunch of things. Yeah, but yeah. So it just feels like Xbox being like, well, if we can't have Tomb Raider, we'll get the thing that inspired Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Cautiously optimistic.
Then we have Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, which this is our third not Sekiro. Then we have Avowed, which is Obsidian's take on Skyrim's gameplay. So
Yeah, it's I don't know how to feel about Avowed, honestly. It's gone from Q2 to just 2024. So we always love seeing that. It looks fine. I think it's in the same, what is it, Pillars of Eternity? It's in that universe.
It's still probably going to come out significantly years before Elder Scrolls 6. So
Oh,
if you want an Elder Scrolls game, here's a little taste.
Yeah.
It does feel a bit like that.
yeah. Afterwards, Assassin's Creed Shadows. It is the Japanese
Oh
ninja.
yes, this one.
Yeah, it's like the Japanese ninja Assassin's Creed game that people have been wanting for 20 years.
And I'll play it in 6 years when it's $8.
Yeah. And we're not going to talk about literally anything else because we do not want to open that can of worms.
We don't want to talk about the Xbox console?
You sure?
I was talking about that game because people are very heated about that game.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Xbox consoles?
In a second.
He's excited to talk
Yeah,
about
I know. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, which I gotta say, wild that game is still being made
Yeah.
considering the war in Ukraine right now.
Yeah, it's impressive.
And, like, it's nearly done. That's
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah, Advance Wars got held off for that reason.
Yeah. All right, Alex.
Me.
Now we'll talk about the Xbox consoles.
All I want to say is a 2 terabyte console with a disk drive and a 1 terabyte console without a disk drive. How does that make sense? How is it not the other way around? If it's
I
all
know, right?
digital, why doesn't that have the 2 terabyte hard drive in it? It does not make sense.
It is so
It doesn't make sense.
so dumb.
It makes zero sense.
That's all I got.
Also, games
I just
are
wanted to say that.
huge now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't the new Call of Duty like 300 gigs?
Yeah.
I think it was 400.
And now with Game Pass and everything as well.
And Baldur's Gate is like 150.
Yeah. But yeah, that presentation was hilarious because like they're like, oh my god, we have new Xbox, and everyone thinks, oh, it's the new generation of Xbox, but it's like it's just the same Xbox, but it's a different shade of black and white.
Yep. And they took a disk drive out of one of them. I audibly laughed out loud when they said that. I'm like, this is nothing to be excited about. There's nothing here.
And closing off the Xbox presentation was Gears of War E-Day. So this is like a Gears of War prequel,
Yeah, it looks like a
I
prequel.
think. I've never actually played a Gears of War game.
I think I played a little bit.
Like I played a little bit with a friend, and I didn't really like how it played. I'm not really into like third-person shooters.
I'm not into most shooters in general.
Yeah, like it just felt very like heavy and clunky. I bet we are annoying a lot of people right now because a lot of people love Gears of War.
Like,
Yeah,
I'll
good-
say
good for them.
it has a cool like design to it and stuff.
yeah,
It's
But
on
it's
my
just-
backlog, but it's always one of those games that are always going to get pushed for something else.
yeah.
Because there's no drive.
It's a game that I'm not into.
And it was, exactly. And it was during the era where everything was brown. It was
Yeah.
the epitome of a brown game.
Yeah. Nintendo, first things first. New console coming later. Well, the announcement of the new console coming later this year wasn't going to be shown off in this presentation.
This
Wonder if they'll-
financial year. So it
Wonder
could
if
be
they'll
early next year.
do it like they announced the Switch and it's like a month later.
It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like when they did that Switch trailer video,
Hmm.
it was like next month it's out.
Yeah. I mean, last time they announced it in October.
Yeah,
They
and
physically.
but
Then 2 months after they did the big presentation. Then 2 months after that, it launched.
yeah,
Mm.
it wasn't too much.
And I'd be happy with that. A
Yeah.
4 month lead up.
Yeah.
Especially we're not even in a drought anymore.
Yeah.
Like of games. Normally, like no one expected
Like,
anything from this direct.
Look at this direct list when we get through
Yeah.
Huge. And
This is not an end of a system direct.
yeah,
No.
it's the 7th year, and they won quote unquote E3.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just gonna call it reveal season.
Yeah. All right, so
It's easier.
the first thing that they showed off, new Mario and Luigi game, Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Yes! I thought this franchise was dead.
Me too.
Same.
Oh,
Yeah.
it looks so good.
Like,
It
there was
looks
no
so good.
other like Nintendo franchise that was more dead than the Mario and Luigi RPG games.
Maybe
F-Zero.
Famicom Detective Club.
I was gonna say F-Zero.
Yeah, true.
That still has that. List the Detective Club
But
has
like,
a game.
I mean, in recent years, because like
099?
you know, like the developers of like these games just
Yeah.
got shut down, thrown out, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everyone
Australian
just
as
thought,
well.
Yeah. So everyone just thought,
Alpha
oh,
Brain.
guess we're not getting those games anymore. So that looks really cool. I can't wait to pick that up. All right. So after that, we have what is this game called?
Fantasian.
Yeah, Fantasian Neo Dimension. So this was a Square Enix RPG that was originally on phones, but now it's getting a Switch port.
Like that Everyday Life game that I played.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which was like, yeah, this is clearly a mobile game. It's not fun.
This one is different, though.
Yeah.
This one
Yeah.
is by the original creator of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And I think I heard something like they're all individual dioramas. Like, so it's the art style is,
Yeah.
I guess it looks kind of generic on face value, but I think it's one of those if you look into it.
It's actually.
Complete tangent, I'm not going to go into it too far, but I finally finished Bravely Default 2.
Oh, nice.
Finally.
That's so hard to finish.
Oh
though.
my God.
Oh,
But I
it's
did
such
it.
a long game.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to harken on that.
All right.
Now to do triangle strategy.
No, thank you.
Or Octopath Traveler 2.
Did that.
All right. So after that, they announced that Nintendo Switch Sports gets basketball,
I mean,
which
more stuff for it.
yeah, true, but who is playing that now?
Actually, apparently it's sold heaps.
It did.
People
Yeah.
actually play that.
Also, wasn't that like leaked? Like when the game came out, that it was getting basketball.
I have
and
no idea.
yeah, like there was key art of like the basketball stuff that like was shown in this presentation in like original stuff.
Hey, at
And-
least it's free.
True. But still, it feels like you had to wait a year for something we thought was already in there. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is actually a real game.
And it's
not-
Animal Crossing Hello Kitty.
Yeah, and it's not a South Park joke.
Yeah.
After that, we have Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sport, which looked rough.
Yeah.
Oh, it looked rough.
Oh, just wait until we get to a later game. They looked even more rough.
Next up, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. Did you guys realize that this wasn't on the Switch already?
Actually, I
Yes.
thought it was released on the Switch.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I did know because I do
Yeah.
want to play this because I do have it on Wii.
I know it was also on the 3DS.
Yeah.
I think that might be because it was at the tail end of the 3DS. It might be
Yeah.
where the lines are crossing over.
Yeah, and then I wanted to play it on the 3DS and I never got around to it because like I've already got it on Wii.
Yeah.
And now like the Switch version, they're charging full price for this.
Yeah, which is rough.
Yeah. And it's not done by Nintendo. It's done
Yeah.
by what is it? Focus Entertainment, I think.
Yeah.
Which are not amazing developers.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they're not really doing the game. They're
Yeah.
just like moving it over.
But yet Metroid Prime Remastered was
Yeah.
cheaper.
Yes.
This is like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense why they do that.
After that, we have Dragon Quest
Alex?
1 through 3 2D HD remix.
Again, why are they going with 2D HD as the name
I
for this
don't
thing?
Yeah, I know. It's a terrible name for like HD pixel art.
Yeah.
Side note, on a 2D HD, I heard someone say like the best way to have done Gen 5 is if they did it in that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it in the new like 3D models, doing it 2D
Yeah.
HD style, like HD pixels. It's like,
Yeah.
It's got to the point it doesn't even look like 2D anymore.
it
It looks
doesn't.
fully 3D.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And I know it is 3D, and it's the illusion that it looks pixel art, but,
But it looks like...
it looks incredible.
yeah.
I am so keen for it, and I played one on my phone, ironically, and it was fine. Like it was
Yeah.
nothing. It was just very very basic.
Yeah.
But like 3 apparently is
3's
like,
where it really starts, isn't it?
Yeah.
and like everyone loves 3, so I'm really excited.
It
for that.
explains why they're doing 3 first, then going back to 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, but
Well,
Yeah.
I think 3 is a prequel.
I think, 3's the start of the timeline.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
is it?
technically it's releasing in order.
okay. I didn't know that.
I know it's
Mm.
it's weird. It's like Star Wars all over again.
So,
Here we go.
Funko Fusion.
Oh,
Who
What
wants to
was
play
this?
a game where you play as Funko Pop figures?
It just looks so bad. The Switch version especially.
It made me think of Lego Dimensions, where it's just a whole bunch of stuff shoved into a world.
Lego
Yeah,
Dimensions at home.
it's Lego Dimensions, but with Funko Pops. The
But
most-
less expensive because you don't have to buy all the stuff. You don't have to buy the Funko Pops to play with the Funko Pops in the game.
God.
Okay, so they had less of a budget. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Mm.
Because Toys to Life things were a thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They sure were.
Alright, so we have Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which we talked about earlier.
It's
in the
good.
thing. Yeah,
But
it's good.
just it's disappointing.
Yeah. We have Darkest Dungeon 2 getting a Switch port, which may I say, hey, thank you Red Hook for the for the review code. That review is coming.
I was going to say, how is it so far?
It's
You haven't started, haven't you?
no. It is like it's like graphically not as good as what you'd expect on a PC. Plus, it's like load times are something to be desired.
Yeah.
I
Like-
mean, that's expected.
Yeah, but like it's worse than you think.
I'm not surprised, honestly. Like I could expect a long load time.
Like the main menu takes like a minute and a half.
Oh.
I'm used to with Act 3 Baldur's Gate.
After that, we have Four Swords Adventure, Metroid Zero Mission, Turok, and the original Perfect Dark being added to the Nintendo Switch Online service.
The way I was disappointed when they announced the 18 plus and it wasn't Conkers.
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, is Conkers coming?
No.
Turok is already on there.
Yeah.
Mm.
I guess it's Turok, but like uncensored.
Yeah, it's. I think
More
it's
blood.
like the sequel to Turok, which like had something else, but
I'm just,
it's also just called Turok for some reason.
where's Conkers?
Yeah.
This was the perfect time
Where's
to do
Banjo
Conkers.
Tooie?
Where's Donkey Kong 64?
And next up we have Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero. Apparently this is a franchise that's been going on for a while. I did not know that.
Yeah, neither did I.
Neither did I.
And I heard people go like, ooh, a new one. I'm like,
Yeah. Wait,
Who?
new one? Wait,
I
excuse
was
me?
just like, okay, this looks like a thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Let's skip to the next one.
yeah,
Pretty
like,
much, yeah.
That's the thing with like video games. There's just so many out there. It is very easy to miss. Like,
A lot.
yeah, a lot. Speaking of missing games, though, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics.
Yeah.
So
Specifically for.
yeah, specifically for the fighting game community, this is actually huge.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
wasn't
I've
also.
heard.
Yeah,
the game
I know,
specific yet.
I know. But like this game has like a whole bunch of like old Capcom like fighting games, like mainly Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. Like it has Marvel Superheroes, which is the first fighting game I ever played. Sorry, Kylie, I know it's been like 20 plus years, but I still haven't given you your copy back. But the biggest thing about this is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was on this. So the last time anyone could even purchase Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was on Xbox Live Arcade,
Yeah,
which
and
is
the
being shut.
PlayStation?
Yeah, and the PlayStation Network on PS3 specifically, which both of them are shut down.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have that, the only way you can play this is on the Dreamcast.
Which it makes me think of like Scott Pilgrim.
Mm.
But there was no way to play it until they re-released it.
Yeah. After that, we have Super Mario Party Jamboree, which claims to be the biggest Mario Party game, which someone has calculated, no, not actually.
How so, I thought
Like-
it had like a lot of like a huge amount of like over 100 like something 130 minigames.
Yeah, but I think it's like slightly less than the previous.
No,
Mario
the
Party
previous
game.
one only had 104,
Yeah.
107.
I can't remember. I remember seeing
They
someone.
might be counting boards and stuff. It has
Well,
less
like, yeah,
boards.
yeah, it has less boards, but I know someone has said it actually has less mini games than one of the Mario Party games.
I don't know what that
Yeah.
from the top of my
Yeah.
head.
Even like Mario Party Top 100 was.
Oh, it was only 100.
Yeah.
And then Mario Party Superstars was 107 because I've played it somewhat recently.
yeah.
I remember seeing
And that was more than Super Mario Party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like
Yeah,
what-
Nathan's not convinced.
like, I'm just like, what game has more mini games on it?
Yeah.
Because like, all the other ones don't have that much.
Yeah.
All things aside, though,
Yeah.
like regardless of the number, it looks good.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is a return to Mario Party being actually good?
maybe.
Because like Super Mario Party was good, but it's just the dice mechanic was not fun. And the board, and this one's actually come back to boards like in the original Mario Party.
Yeah.
Like was it to 8? Was
And
the
even
last time they
bringing
did?
back, was it Princess? No, what was it? The Mario Roadway?
Yeah.
Rainbow Way?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I played that board the most,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
But that one's
yeah.
really cool.
All right, next big announcement, though. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. A Legend of Zelda game where you actually get to play as Zelda.
Yeah.
Finally.
It looks good.
It looks
Yeah.
really good.
Like,
I like that it feels like you're just grabbing like random bits of the scenery
yeah.
and just like fighting enemies with it.
And the way they revealed that it was Zelda was like, actual? What's going on here?
I
Yeah.
honestly thought it was Link to the Past remake.
So did I at first.
Because like same art style as the thing, right?
Link's
Yeah,
Awakening.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
But I'm just really glad they didn't just give Zelda a sword.
Yes. They actually gave her her own thing. Because she's not the hero of courage.
Yeah.
She's the hero of wisdom, which
Yeah.
is magic based.
Then we have Lord of the Rings Tales of the Shire, which is a farming sim where you play as hobbits, just making your own little farm.
It's a Hobbit sim.
Yeah, it is a hobbit
It
sim.
is a Hobbit sim.
Yeah.
Could be good.
Yeah. It looks,
Cautiously optimistic.
it looks
like,
interesting.
Apparently,
Like,
previews are quite positive.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna, like, make a Lord of the Rings game that isn't, like, the main plot of
Yeah.
the Lord of the Rings, this
this is
feels...
actually a really good way to do it.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah, it feels like the most obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Ace Attorney Investigations Collection.
Oh my god, I've finally get the sequel.
Yeah, finally, right?
Still up to 3. It's so many.
The Miles Edgeworth games are really good.
I've heard.
Like they're really good. Like I think they're between 3 and Apollo Justice.
Okay.
And like it's Miles' like stories is he's sassy. He has to deal with gumshoes all the time.
Yeah. So for context, one of the games on here was only released in Japan, so it's finally getting a wider release.
Finally.
Yeah.
And you can go back to the old graphics as well.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really cool thing.
That's cool.
I'll flick it once. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then never do it again.
That's like what I did for Paper Mario. Did the music, and I'm like, the new music is so much better.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
After that, we have Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven getting a remake. Like, I've seen like the preview, like the original Romancing Saga 2. Like that game was like super old, like pixels and stuff. Getting a full like 3D remake looks wild.
Yeah.
It's like-
It does.
It's what they did with Trials of Mana.
Yeah.
Which was okay. It was pretty good. I'm just surprised that out of anything,
Yeah.
you're going to remake into 3D. It's Romancing Saga 2.
Yeah.
Such
yeah.
a random choice.
All right, last thing on the list. Finally,
It exists. It exists.
Metroid Prime 4 does in fact actually exist.
Metro Prime 4 Beyond.
Beyond Infinite Universes.
When was this first announced? Like
Oh,
2017.
2017.
you
Wow.
got it on your mind.
Yeah.
E3 2017.
So
It
7
was-
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought this thing was never coming out. It's like, didn't it get like restarted halfway through development? Yeah.
They fully scrapped it.
Went from Bandai Namco to back to Retro Studios.
Yeah.
Right. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But it looks
fully
good.
scrapped.
Like, it uses the same engine as the Metro Prime Remastered,
Yeah.
which is like arguably the best looking Nintendo game in existence.
Yeah.
Metro Prime Remastered. So
It's really, really pretty.
yeah, and like YouTube compression just did not do it justice.
No. Yeah.
Like
That's the problem with like you looking at these games. YouTube compression doesn't help.
No, it really
no.
doesn't. And this game looks like it's clean. It's 60 FPS, and running that on like 7-year-old mobile tech, is just Retro Studios they've done it again. Like they are insane when it comes to getting the most out of hardware.
Do you think this is going to be like Breath of the Wild, where they release it on the Switch and the new console at the same time?
It just doesn't seem as a big enough IP to do that though. Like that's what I've been thinking. It's just
I get the
doesn't
feeling.
have the clout.
I get the feeling what they like. If they're going to be smart with it, they're going to do a lot of games on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, someone suggested to me is like, what if it was completely backwards compatible to
Yes.
Switch 2, but you can pay an extra $10
Yes,
to
that's what I've
upgrade
heard.
it. Yeah, which is what PlayStation does.
Yeah.
Well, PS4 to PS5. And that just makes so much sense to me.
Mm.
Why not?
Do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you play Breath of the Wild in 60 FPS. People
That'd be
would go
good.
back to it and do that.
Coming up next, we will be having Alex's review of Shim, so stay
Oh, I
tuned.
forgot I was doing that.
Again.
The following review for Shim was written by Alex Harding and voiced by Jake Mounsey. Shim follows the story of a man, starting from a young age, going through the struggles of school and university, and then leading to the struggles of adulthood. Throughout his life, our frog character accompanies him, lurking in his shadows, but it's after the walk home after what may have been the worst day of his life that the shadow frog is separated from his human, thus leading to a journey to find and reconnect. It really goes without saying that the primary mechanic of Shim is so wonderfully clever. As the shadow frog, you can only traverse through the shadows, leaping from one to the next in order to reach your objective. Some shadows are quite thin, but if you land outside of one, you're able to flop your way over to the other with just a single mini jump. If you're unsuccessful, you're immediately brought back to the prior shadow. This platforming mechanic feels wonderfully tactile, and each new area has its own quirks with how the shadows move, almost reminiscent of Frogger itself. The music is delightfully calming, providing almost elevator-style tunes over the clever aesthetic. There is also no dialogue whatsoever. Rather, each interaction is told through physical reenactment and body language. The music also does a wonderful job at not overshadowing, pun not intended, the striking visuals, with a minimalist color presentation that shows more than it tells. Its approach to its visual style not only does what it needs to do, but it helps to accentuate the shadows and the game's concept as a whole. Though some of the platform puzzles aren't exactly intuitive for the player, and this is especially noticeable when the action button feels somewhat unresponsive. The lack of user interface is clearly a design choice, and I can respect that. But having an icon come up to encourage players to press a button to interact with objects could have certainly assisted the player when they're at a bit of a loss. The hint system can also be a tad obtuse, resulting in more of a hindrance than a helpful guide. By holding down the right trigger, the camera will move in the direction you need to go. There was one particular level that had you turning on and off traffic lights in order to hitch a ride from the vehicles, but for the life of me, the hint system just didn't want to cooperate. I wouldn't say I'm bad at puzzle games, but I'm not a puzzle whiz either, and the hint system kept suggesting the middle of the intersection. What was I supposed to do with that kind of information? In the end, I fumbled around aimlessly for about 15 minutes until I jumped into the shadow of a random car and that triggered something to get me to where I was supposed to be. I didn't feel accomplished by the end of it, just a relief that it was over. At the end of it all, I'll look back on Shim fondly, not for its puzzles, but for its satisfying shadow platforming and unique presentation. I'm happy to have been given the chance to experience it, but once the credits roll, I can't see myself ever wanting to go back to it. It's a quick, one-and-done romp that'll have you smiling for the majority of the time, and rolling your eyes in frustration in between. Final score, 8 out of 10. Shim is available on all consoles plus PC.
Alrighty, so before we leave off today, we have the upcoming games of next week. So, coming on, my thing refreshed. Where is it? No, okay, there we go. There we
Wrecked.
go.
Professional service.
Alright, July 18th, we have Bo, Path of the Teal Lotus. It's going to be on PS5, Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Dungeons of Hinterberg for the Series X and S and PC. Also on July 18th. Flintlock Siege of Dawn, which we talked about earlier this episode, on PS5, Xbox Series S, X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Meifumado, whatever that is, I've never heard of that, on July 18th, also for PC. USC Counterforce for PC, July 18th as well. Vorex for PC. It's a lot of PC games, by the way.
It's usually the case.
Yeah. EA Sports College Football 25. For those of you...
Sports.
It's in the game. For PS5, Series X and S. Kunitsugami, Path of the Goddess, which is another game that we talked about today. On PS5, PS4, Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC on July 19th. July 22nd has Critic Crops. Sorry, not Critic Core. That's a completely different thing. That is going to be on PC. July 23rd for PC, we have Crossover Roll for Initiative. So, I haven't actually seen that, so that sounds like some kind of role-playing game. So, Nathan seems excited.
I just rolled dice. It said roll for initiative, so I rolled for initiative.
Just out of habit.
Yeah. Also on July 23rd, we have F1 Manager 2024 for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One and PC. Same day, Wordlets for PC. We also finally have the 1.0 release of 7 Days to Die for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC for July 25th. We have Arranger, a role puzzling adventure for PS5, Switch, and PC on the 25th. EDF, or Elite, Earth Defense Force 6 for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, PC. We have Harvest Days for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 25th. Kingdom Rush 5 Alliance for iOS and Android on the 25th. Thrasher for Quest and Apple Vision Pro for you VR players out there, also on July 25th. And finally, Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus for the Switch. What the hell is that? What is that? I've never heard of that. That is such a weird title. I click on the link and it's giving me nothing. Great. Guess we will never know. So this ends the first episode of Co-op Couch. So guys, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope to see you guys next time to see what happens in the world of gaming. Goodbye for now.
See ya.
Bye.